What's up, y'all? It's Matt Hoffa of the legendary My Expert Opinion Show. Y'all can check me out in Chattanooga for the Hip Hop Summit out there, October 14th. I'll be there. I hope you're there too. Salute.
It's all around. Look around you, man. You can find inspiration. You can find discouragement. It all depends on you. Perception is everything. Some people just hear another song. Some people hear the greatest. A nigga used to have no chill. Nowadays I bump side A. Traffic going bumper to bumper, stuck on the highway.
Now, I want to go even further back than that. Because you mentioned JAYZ, you mentioned Gotti.
Mm-hmm.
Now, at the time, they were probably in their teens.
Yeah. Jay had just turned 18. I didn't even cut you off like that.
Right. How did you come to be involved with the music?
Well, I met Jay, I think he had, what he was like, I think Jay was like 15. And my man, Nike from the Mighty Shirt Kings, you know, him and Jay lived in the same building. And I was just coming home from, not the joint, but I was just coming home from Old Dominion. I went to school for 2 years at Old Dominion University in Norfolk. And I basically dropped out. I didn't want to do that. You know, I wanted to rhyme.
What was your major?
Huh?
What was your major?
It was nothing. It was supposed to be accounting, but I didn't go to class enough to have a major because I didn't want to do it. I was doing it to please my mother and my grandmother, and I went through with it, but I had to look at myself and say like, yo, I can't let them live their life vicariously through me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to live my own life. And it was hard to do because they both had done and have done so much for me. You know what I'm saying? So it was difficult for me to be like, yo,
that's not what I want to do.
It's quiet. Yeah, I ain't doing that.
You don't want to disappoint them.
Exactly.
Right.
So I came home from college and, you know, I got me a job. One of my boys, Ron Henley, he hooked me up with a job, made me an assistant dispatcher at this company called a Better Messenger company. Yeah, my memory is kind of like long ago. It's kind of good.
That's what I'm about to say. You remember names and everything.
Yeah. Because they my people and you know my people. I remember. So basically, damn, I lost track.
Better Message.
Yeah, Better Messenger company. So I came back from school, and Nike was telling everybody. Shout out to Nike, by the way, and shout out to all the Shirt Kings here and no longer here, but with us in spirit. So Nike was having a conversation. I say conversation, but he said he was arguing with somebody, and he was talking about, yo, Jazz is the best MC, and he was like, yo, it's this young kid, and you know his name wasn't JAYZ yet, you know, so people was calling him Shawnee D, because his name was Sean, and you know everybody had like a D, because D and B, you know, made it sound bolder and strong. Yeah, more robust. You know,
or Ice this, Ice that.
Right. Yeah. Ice is like slick.
My first rap name was Ice A.
Yeah.
For no reason.
What was it?
It's Ice A. There was no A in my name. It was just
Ice A.
That's how I didn't
even see that.
I was like 8 years old. Like, I'm Ice A.
Can you imagine him right now?
What? You don't want it.
Hell no.
You don't want it with
Ice A.
Seemed like a lot of light skin cats at Ice A.
That's low blow.
I was a light skin man. Come on, man.
I'm just saying. Image, man.
Right.
So, but yeah,
Shawnee D.
Yeah, so, you know, and shout out to Jay, by the way. You know, love all the time.
Right.
That's good to hear.
So always. So Nike was going back and forth, and some cat was saying like, nah, you know, this young kid Sean, he was like, and Nike was like, yo, I don't care. Jazz is the best. Jazz better than everybody. And that's not even a paraphrase, that's a quote, you know. And you can find him and he'll tell you the same thing. So he's kind of like the deal maker or the broker for like all of this stuff, because there's other stuff that went on. But long story short, he set it up to where we met and on my side in the driveway, like when you come, like this is Park Avenue, and then the driveway where you going through all the way through to all of the buildings.
Right.
So we met there, and so he's like, yeah, we gonna see who the best. And you know, Jay was there, and he was like, yo,
what did it look like at the time?
Huh?
What did both of y'all look like? You had the flat tops, you had the, what was the vibe then? Like,
I'm trying to think if I had a flat top yet. I know I had a fade, but the flat top wasn't really accentuated yet.
right.
You know what I'm saying? It was in development and shit.
Was it Fila velours? Was it the Cosby sweaters?
Fila velours. It was the shit. It was warm, so it was like the Hawaiian shirts was popping back then.
Hawaiian Sophie.
No, exactly. And the other print shirts and you know, and it was just around the time like the flared out leaves. You know what I'm saying? So it was around that time. So that time was kind of just leaving, you know, with the flared out leaves.
Right.
And so we was like, they were like, who gonna run first? And they looked at Jay and he was like, and I shrugged my shoulders, I don't care. And then I was like, shit, we ain't gonna be here all day going, you know, shrugging our shoulders and shit. So, you know, as a show of strength, not to like bombard anybody, but as a show of strength, I was like, all right, I'm gonna rhyme first. And I rhymed and everybody was into it. But the difference was it turned out to not really be a battle. It was more like a display. It was more like a joust, if you will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So a display of skills, but I wasn't like going at him like, yo, your sneakers is turned up and you know, you got 2 jump shots left and you know that type of shit.
And a layup.
You know what I'm saying? And so I rhymed, and then he rhymed, and what had impressed upon me was the fact that he was the first person I ever heard rhyme that reminded me, you know, as far as cadence, vocal projection, and all that shit of myself. And, you know, I wouldn't, and I'll never say this shit, you know, that he was as good as or better or any, and I'm not saying that because it's a fact. I'm saying because me as a lyricist, I'm never gonna give that shit up to anybody. That's just how it is.
Just period.
Yeah,
Period.
yeah, because all of it is really opinionated anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
fact.
And nobody could be the best you, but I could say, I mean, you know, but I mean, we all know Jay's career and his accolades, business-wise and creative, you know what I'm saying, speaks volumes for who he is. So,
Right.
but at that time, you know what I'm saying, I was like, yo, yeah, this young nigga, you know, a little rough on the edges, but
he shocked you.
yeah. And I was like, yeah. So at the end of that, I think we rhymed 2 times a piece, and you know, and
That's all it took?
yeah, because we wasn't rhyming against each other. We was just like, all right, I'm a rhyme. Because we were waiting for niggas to break out so we could be like, yo, let's write some shit together. And that's what we started doing.
Right.
We started writing shit together. You know, Jay would come to my crib with the rhyme dictionary, and I go get, back then, Haagen-Dazs was battling with Fruzenglage and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how far.
Yeah, I remember Fuji.
Yeah, see? Yeah, so that was the battle. So sometimes we get Haagen-Dazs, sometimes we get Fruzenglage, and I don't know how our stomachs could take it, but we would follow up with some fucking Fruit Loops or Apple Jacks, and milk.
Oh man.
Be high as fuck on sugar. I'm beating on the table, he rhyming, he passed it to me. I'm rhyming, he beating on the table. And that's how we did it. And when we went to like, you know, when cats had the music out, we come out there, I don't know how, somewhere he acquired a Roland, it was a little Roland drum machine, it's called a DDM 110. And you know, when you turned it off, you could still hear the drums from the thing. And we used to make our own beats. So we used to go where they had the music out and we would bring the DDM 110. And it was like, if y'all ever seen like that Bugs Bunny shit when everybody saw, when he playing like a conductor and everybody go, Leopold, 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 Leopold. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just telling it like it is. That's how they was treating us. Like when we come to the music, we shut shit down. Like yo, these dudes are here. Yo, what y'all need? And we hook up the drum machine and we go back and forth, just like we did in the crib. And that's how it was. And that's how it started. Jazz and JAYZ.
Was the plan to implant or impress your morals on him, the same moral stance and moral code that you have as far as I'm not leaving anybody behind? This is how I am. One for all for one. Did you impress that part onto him as well as the music, or was it strictly just the music and he watched everything?
Because you were his senior, of course, at this time. You were his senior at this time.
Yeah, of course.
So how much?
I still am.
Right.
in quantum.
Right.
Yeah.
So was it more than just writing rhymes together? Were you kind of like trying to mold him?
Oh yeah. I was molding him. We went to jail together. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
Nah,
what?
Yeah, because I'm trying to figure out. Yeah, I was molding him. We went to jail. You know what I'm saying?
Can't just breeze past.
I had to instill that.
I would say we got a. I know, right? Yeah, I'm
It's a terrible
positive example. You know what I'm saying? Come to Long Island with me. I got 20s of blow, and they won it.
Right.
And he used to roll with me, but no, we used to do shows, and I know y'all remember or at least heard of like Broadway International, Rooftop, Uptown, and we are Uptown. I'm the same. But Brooklyn. I'm in my head. I'm always in Brooklyn. So, yo, let's go uptown. I'm on 102,000 million Street. Yeah.
Right.
So one night we were doing a show, and I had some work in my pocket, and it was this cat. And to be honest with you, I think the nigga snitched on me. But he was like, yo, I got some buyers, and they want some shit. And it wasn't crazy money, but I had like, I could probably like maybe like $700-800, the 20s and a couple of 50s or some shit, And I don't let's say that first. I'm not glorifying that shit at all. Let's get that out the way. So.
But this is after the deal.
Nah, this is way before the deal.
Oh, all right, cool.
This is back when you first met Jay.
Yeah.
Right.
So we were doing shows, and so I used to, the way, and the nigga's name is Ron, but not Ron Henley, but the nigga's name is Ron. I really think that he snitched on me, but I ain't trying to start no beef or nothing. I love the dude, and I know.
Yeah. Where's
man.
this going? You're gonna get a phone call as soon as this drops.
I know. Go.
You don't snitch on you.
I know.
I'm out here telling everybody I know you. You say that?
Yo. Hey, I'm not. I didn't say it out the blue though. It's like from deduction. That was deduction. You know what I'm saying? Like who knew? You ain't see me pass nothing. Only one person. But anyway.
Process of elimination.
That's it. So basically, one night we were leaving, and my man had my man Errol. He was the only one who was driving back then, and he had a busted headlight So the cops, they were harassing people anyway, but he just gave them a great reason to harass us.
Right.
And I was trying to hide the work, and it didn't work.
It's a ball right there.
Yeah, it didn't work. So we got arrested. Me, Jay, Errol, and Jason. They were brothers from Long Island. And actually, they were cousins, first cousins of Cool KG, who was my DJ. So yeah, that's what I meant. Like, you know, jail. We ain't go to jail, but we got booked.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got booked, and we spent a couple of days, you know, central bookings, you know, and they move you around. It's a psychological head fuck, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, but yeah, it's back to your question.
Hold on, but
I
you beat
did-
those charges.
Huh?
Beat those charges, or did you end up having to do
No, misdemeanor.
misdemeanor?
Cause I never got knocked before that.
All right.
So it's like, and they were like, it ain't like you running a cartel with that little bit of work you got on you. So,
Right.
So basically, to answer your question, yeah, my intent was to build on his integrity by example, and at the same time not impose upon him or anybody else. Like, yo, do what you do, but this is how I do it, and you make a choice. You know, you want to be that or this or some of the, you know, adopt some of anything.
Right.
You know, that's life. You know, you make the choices to become more of yourself. So,
Right.
yeah, that was my intention, and I always impressed upon him some of the things I did, and even in interviews, I always told the interviewer, like when they asked me, you know, they asked me a similar question, like here, like, you know, they would ask why, like why this dude is your deal, is your money, all this other shit, why him? And I was like, because he's worth it. He has the talent, and he's like my little brother, and I don't want him to go through a lot of the same bullshit that I had to go through to get to this point.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of politics, you know, and you know, I was pretty militant back then. You know, if anybody did any research, you know, my history, like kind of with the Ansars and shit like that. So I didn't want him to go through any of that shit. So, you know, I figured like with Irv too, you know, if I take them along with me, you know what I'm saying, they'll get their faces known, because like y'all know, it wasn't no social media, and like we could post and shit,
Right.
and be, you know, get some views. So that was the way to get popular. So I used to but I used to have them running with me.
A nigga used to have no chill, nowadays I bump side A. Traffic going bumper to bumper, stuck on the highway. Takes so long to get from Monday to Friday, then you wake up on Sunday like it was just Friday. Crime pays, I ain't cage, had to find ways. I wasn't trying to slave a 9 to 5 till my dying days.